they felt better the more I ran, which I think tells me that they're gonna need just a little bit of time to break in. Maybe like 15 miles. Good morning, YouTube family. I hope you're doing well. All right, we're taking out the Mizuno Wave Sky Waveknit 3 for the first impressions. Just grabbing a little coffee first, and then we will be out the door. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. First impressions of the Mizuno Wave Sky Waveknit 3, a brand new shoe from Mizuno. I've never run in this shoe. These are literally my first steps jogging. Right now, I'm gonna give you my gut reaction. Let's do this, come on, all right. It's a road shoe, you should know that right off the bat. Definitely a road shoe. All right, how's it feeling? Good support. Even though it's a neutral shoe, I can feel good support, I think mostly because of the rubber on the outsole. So like, I don't feel loosey-goosey like the Nike Peg 36 does. It feels a little different. Upper is feeling decent. Not amazing, but decent. You know what I mean? Like, some uppers just really hug the foot nice. I will say that maybe the toe box is a little loose. And I am ready to rock and roll. All right, those are just some first gut reactions. Let me just think, oh yeah, midsole's feeling nice. All right, here we go. All right, just wrapping up the run. Oh yeah, not too shabby. I must say, they felt better the more I ran, which I think tells me that they're gonna need just a little bit of time to break in. Maybe like 15 miles, I bet they'll feel even better. Just breaking up that, you know, right out of the factory feel through the outsole and the midsole. But I'm pleased. I'm pleased. All right, let's get you my full thoughts in the studio. And let's break it down. The Mizuno Wave Sky Waveknit 3. Now, the only other Mizuno in my, actually, I think I've told this before, my first cross-country spike in 7th grade, 20 years ago, was a Mizuno. So I've got like this special connection with Mizuno going way, way back. Now, I haven't run in Mizuno a ton as of late, but the other Mizuno in the rotation is the Waveknit R2. I would say, and this has that wave technology through the midsole, that this is a little more of a firm landing compared to this Wave Sky, absolutely. But I still want, just so you know, I have not forgotten about this R2 from Mizuno. I just, with the injury and everything, I haven't been able to put as many miles into it as I would like, but sooner rather than later, I will get back into this guy as well. Okay, first impressions, let's start with the drop. It is 10 millimeters, that's right. Pretty standard for a lot of Mizuno shoes, so based on the research I've done, at least 10 millimeters for their drop. And I believe I am now in the camp with respect to drop. I don't really want to go above 10. So you remember I won those Brooks Ghost 11 shoes after the Cookie Chase 5K. I won a pair of shoes, and they are 12 millimeter drop. Ugh. I just think it's a little too high for me. And if you're a 12 millimeter fan, good for you. If you're locked and loaded and you love 12 millimeter, I think 10 millimeter is about as high as I want to go for that heel to toe offset. And for the weight in this Wave Sky, we're coming in at 9.7 ounces in my size, or 277 grams. So basically add an ounce if you're looking at like the standard size 9 weight that a lot of advertisement happens at. So 9.7, a little on the high end for a daily trainer, but that's okay with me. You know my thesis there. I don't mind a daily trainer that is a little heavier. And yes, I would put this in the daily training category, not necessarily definitely not a tempo day shoe. You could, and you know what? I would say you could pull off a long run, like for me, an 18 to 20 mile long run. Absolutely. Would it be my first choice? Probably not. Now I need more time, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning. This is just my first impression, not my full review. You know, that'll happen in 50 miles. But I would probably lean toward another shoe for a long run, something with maybe a little more cushion through that midsole. Quick observation on the upper. Very, very high build quality. Now, I would say it's not as comfortable as some other knit uppers that I've worn, but as far as durability and how many miles you're going to get out of this upper, I'd say you're looking at least 500 miles easily out. Like, it's really, really well constructed through this upper. But I would also say maybe not the most breathable upper with respect to knit. So if you live in a really humid or hot climate, I'm just not, like if you're going out for a 20-mile run and it's 90% humidity, I would bet a lot of money this upper is going to be soaked by the time you get back. That is just my guess. Now, I live in a dry climate, so I don't have to worry about that. But anyway, just keep that in mind. It's so well constructed. I just don't know if there's a lot of breathability happening. But again, it's like it's a trade-off, like durability versus breathability. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit. So if you want like a lot of miles out of your shoe, I bet this is going to work for you. And as I mentioned earlier during my first steps, it's a new midsole technology from Mizuno. And actually, I'm just going to say this right now. Hopefully I'm not creating any controversy. For some reason, and correct me if I'm wrong, I put Mizuno and Asics kind of in the same genre of running shoes, meaning historically over the last 10 to 15 years, what I have noticed is a lot of similarities. Now again, I might be stepping on toes here, but a lot of similarities between Mizuno and Asics. Now, I'm starting to wonder, with this new midsole technology and this new push into, I would say, a little more of a cushioned ride in this Wave Sky, if Mizuno is starting to push the envelope a little bit, in my opinion, in the right direction with respect to still creating a supportive shoe, but also not sacrificing comfort and cushion through that midsole ride. It was very, very nice today. Very nice. And I don't know, that's just my observation based on the Asics that I've tested out in running shoe stores over the past couple years. So just wanted to put that out there. And yes, it is called the X-Pop midsole if you want to do some more research. And it's coupled with this full-length U4 IC foam midsole, and it's very cushioned, very comfortable. And I would say very responsive. I felt responsive. Now, I gotta hold myself back right now. I can't be going like 7-minute pace or 6:30 pace. I'm hovering around 8 to 8:30 pace as I come back from the injury. So I didn't really get to get that full benefit from the responsiveness, but I tell you what, it felt not snappy, but responsive is the right word. Like, just wanted to push me forward, but not in a snappy way. I don't know if that makes sense, but all right, a couple positives real quick. Very comfortable through the collar. And remember in the Brooks Ghost 11, I was slipping a little bit in the heel, and this material on the heel collar reminds me of the Brooks Ghost 11, but I didn't feel that today. I didn't feel like my heel was slipping at all, so that's a huge bonus. And then once again, back to that midsole, just nice and responsive, but supportive as well. Quick drawback, and this happens in some other shoes as well, so it might be just my foot, but basically some scrunching up at the bottom of the tongue where the tongue meets the upper. And I could actually see, as I was lacing up the shoes today, I could see my sock through the corner of the bottom of the tongue, and that was like, like, you don't want that, even if it's just from a mental standpoint. Like, you don't want to be seeing your sock, in my opinion, at the bottom of the tongue. So I don't know if that tongue just needs to be a little wider throughout the entire tongue, where it lays on top of your foot. So that's just one little drawback. Nothing major. It didn't really affect the ride or the comfort, but it just was like a little mentally concerning. Like, I wonder where I can see my sock down there. All right, and the good stuff, conclusion on performance. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I just want to say, for a neutral shoe, I'm feeling a little bit of stability through that outsole pattern. And I know I didn't dive into the outsole too much. I'll just say, what's jumping out at me? Neutral shoe with support and stability. Now, let me explain. Basically, this rubber on the outsole, you are going to get hundreds and hundreds of miles. I said this once. I said this actually about this shoe, the R2 Waveknit. Basically, the build quality, I keep going back to it. I can just feel, you can feel the build quality. It's better than Nike, it's better than Skechers. I would say better than New Balance. Like, I don't know what Mizuno is doing. First of all, it's made, I'm just gonna say it, made in Vietnam, not in China. I'm gonna ruffle feathers there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Like, build quality is really, really on point. Now, for being a neutral shoe, you see there is some movement there. Because of this rubber outsole, you probably have noticed that I pronate in my right foot. Just so you know, if you didn't know, I had surgery on my right foot while I was in college, and so I think that causes my right foot to pronate just a little bit. And anyway, I don't know if this shoe, I have to go look at the footage, I haven't looked at it yet, but if this shoe is gonna straighten out my foot strike and my gait cycle just a little bit. And that question of the day, all right, who out there has ever worn Mizuno? And for me, again, it was back in 7th grade, my first cross-country spike. Bonus points if you can remember the Mizuno shoe that you wore, and maybe you're in Mizuno right now. Now is your time to shine down in the comments, because if you're a Mizuno fan, let us know one reason why you lean toward purchasing Mizuno. It could be any factor that goes into a shoe. For me, whoa, no, hands down, no holds bar. It's absolutely the build quality. I'm telling you. In fact, if there's somebody out there who has 500 plus miles, 600 plus miles on a pair of Mizunos right now, you got to send me some pictures, because I would love to see what the outsole looks like. Oh, I would just love that. So anyway, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming on an adventure to downtown Denver. It was a good run today. And yes, first impressions, overall, solid. Again, not my full review. We'll put more time into them and get you that sooner rather than later. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. By the way, I think I'm going to film an Olympian tomorrow. Oh, I just dropped it. Come back for that. I believe I'm filming an Olympian tomorrow. Come back for that. Oh boy, here we go. See you tomorrow.